My name is Carly Smith, and I'm the Volunteer Outreach Specialist at the Paluxy River Children's Advocacy Center, and today we're going to talk about grooming. Now, when I first say grooming, you might think about getting your hair done or taking your dog to get a trim. However, in the world of child abuse, grooming has a very different and important meaning. Grooming is a critical component when it comes to child abuse, and it's important that we know the true definition of it and some red flags about it. Child grooming is a deliberate process in which offenders gradually initiate and maintain a sexual relationship with victims in secrecy. Grooming allows offenders to slowly overcome natural boundaries long before abuse occurs. As we have learned, over 90% of the time, children are abused by someone they know, love, and trust. And you might think to yourself, how did I not notice that somebody I know is abusing a child? And that's where grooming comes in. An abuser not only grooms the victim, but also the community and the support system around the child as well. Grooming can take place online or in person and over an extended period of time. So let's talk about what a common pattern of grooming may look like. The first step is victim selection. Abusers often observe victims and select them based on their perceived vulnerability and access to the child. So this may mean that they're able to get unrestricted time and access with this child, or they might have some sort of vulnerabilities that makes it easier for them to prey on this child. Next, the abuser will look for ways to gain access to the victim and begin isolating them from their support system. They may isolate them physically or emotionally from their support system. And this could be taking them away from their friends and family, as in getting them alone in a physical space, or emotionally making them think that none of their friends or family would understand the kind of relationship they have. So you don't even need to talk to those people anymore because I'll be the only person that you need. So that's how they could emotionally isolate. After they've isolated the child, they will begin to try and gain their trust by giving them gifts, attention, or sharing secrets, or any other means to make them feel like that they have a caring relationship with this abuser. They might even give them expensive gifts, or treating them as if they are older than who they really are, praising them with compliments, or even assisting them online with the game. They may even try and make the child believe that they have a relationship, even a romantic relationship, and that their friends or family would not understand the relationship they have, so don't even bother explaining it to them. Some of the things that they could be giving them are cell phones or expensive material goods, or even drugs or alcohol. These might be things that they don't normally get at home, or even more TV time or time online, things that their family doesn't normally give them. And so they'll try and give them these gifts and attention so that the child keeps coming back to them. Now, as I've said, grooming is a process. So now that the abuser has gained the trust of the child, they may start to touch the child in ways that may seem harmless, like hugs or tickles. And then they will escalate those touches into something that's more sexual in nature. And this might be massages, or even accidentally touching a private area on their body. And so this is a way that they'll try to start desensitize the child, and they could even be showing them pornography. And these are ways that they can kind of gauge the child and see, are they really taken aback by this, or have I groomed them well enough that they think that these things are normal? And then once they're able to cross that barrier is when they might begin actually sexually abusing the child. Now, it may seem like these red flags are really obvious and it should be easy for us to notice them. But to the untrained eye, it's difficult, especially when the groomer has taken the time to groom the child and the community as well. A really great example of this is Jenna Quinn. Jenna Quinn is a survivor of sexual abuse and is now an advocate of sexual abuse education, and she's a native Texan. When she was younger, her family befriended a neighbor, and this neighbor had a family that had children about the same age as Jenna. And so over the course of time, this neighbor, which would be the father, and his family really got to know Jenna Quinn's family, and they would have vacations together, dinners together, and they had a lot of interactions with each other. Well, over time, the father of this family, essentially, Jenna caught his eye. And so he started to groom Jenna. He would, as I said, had this great relationship with the family. Once he had gone beyond that, he started to find ways to isolate Jenna. He invited her over one night to try on her basketball uniform because he was a coach and he just wanted to see that it made sure that it fit well. And then he started offering her things that she wouldn't normally receive at home, like alcohol. And then he showed her pornography. And then throughout the course of time, he would touch her in what seemed like harmless ways, like maybe resting his hand on her thigh. And then eventually he actually sexually abused Jenna. And once that happened, Jenna obviously was really confused because this was somebody that she had known, loved, and trusted, and he had hurt her. And it took her quite a bit of time before she was able to tell somebody about this abuse, because she didn't think anyone would believe her, because the abuser had done such a great job of grooming the family. And she was eventually able to tell her sister and then her family, and was able to achieve justice in this. And now Jenna is an advocate for body safety presentations. She now has advocated for schools to require body safety presentations in what is known as the Jenna's Law. And so now schools are required yearly to educate students on body safety prevention, which includes talking about grooming. And what's great is our center and many other children advocacy centers do these types of presentations and do them for free. Now, Jenna's Quinn is not an uncommon story. But it's a great example of how somebody can abuse somebody and groom them in their family. Because like I said, her family and this family were so enmeshed that it was very hard for them to ever think that he would abuse Jenna or other children as well. So now that we've defined grooming and talked about the red flags, you might be wondering, well, what do I do next? One of the best things you can do is start talking to your children about this. Start talking to them about how an adult should never be spending unsupervised time with them. Or giving them these types of gifts and treating them really special. It's one thing to tell somebody, you did a great job at school today, or you look nice, but it's different if they are trying to say, your body looks really nice, or spending extra time with them, that they're not giving other children. Like, for example, if it was a coach and they are spending extra time with your child, maybe extra practices, or trying to find ways to spend more time with them. And those are things that they're not offering to other children on the team. So talk to your kids, talk to them about how they shouldn't be spending this time alone with the other adults. And just be teaching them to trust their gut. Your gut might tell you, this doesn't feel right. I don't like the attention that I'm getting from this person. I don't think I like the way that this feels. And if so, be able to have those conversations with your kids and let them know if your gut's telling you something is not right, let's do something about it. Maybe get away from this person, stop spending time with them, or making sure other people are around when you're with this person as well. You can also check with your child's school to make sure that they're providing these body safety presentations. Like I said, children's advocacy centers can do these and do them for free. So making sure your children being educated on this. Now, if the stuff we learned today has been helpful and you want to know more about it, check out the description below. We've put some links down of some other places you can go to learn more information. And it's important for you to know that talking about grooming, talking about abuse is a continual process. It's important that we keep talking to our kids about grooming, keep talking to them about abuse as well. I hope you'll come back next week and check out our next video in this Let's Talk series called Bodies, Boundaries, and Boldness, where we talk about the importance of naming our body parts and being able to speak up and say no. Thank you all for tuning in.